Alright y'all, back again. It's me, Mr. Bass, holding it down, and we are talking about solving one-step inequalities. I might even have a little song for all you lovers out there at the end of the video, so make sure that you stay tuned to it. But let's go ahead and get into the math. We finished with equations, we're moving it over, we're sliding over to the inequalities, making it happen. Alright? So here we go. First of all, inequality is exactly what it sounds like. In means not. Equality means equal, right? So these are things that are not equal. We were working with equations where on both sides of the equal sign, both sides were on a scale that's balanced, okay? It's equal. Now we're talking about scales that are unbalanced and not equal, okay? So first off, let's look. We have greater than, so that is greater than, less than, greater than, or equal to, and less than, or equal to. Okay? So that's some basic information. You've seen this information before. I just wanted to make sure that you have it. Alright? Now let's get into this business. So, to solve, that's not how you spell solve. To solve inequalities. So to solve inequalities, treat them the same way as equations. There are only two differences. Okay? So inequalities, you're going to solve them the same way as the equations. So this one's going to go hopefully pretty fast for you all, because if you've passed solving equations, it's the exact same ideas. Okay? There are only two slight differences. So let's go ahead and get into what those two slight differences are. The first difference is the fact that instead of using the equal sign, you will use the inequality sign given to you. Okay? So they're going to give you some inequality sign, and you're going to use that instead of equals. It's crazy, I know, but y'all can make it happen. The other main difference, and this is what's been getting, a lot of you are into this already, and this is the part that's been getting many of you, okay? If you divide or multiply by, notice, divide, multiply by a negative. So if you ever find yourself dividing or multiplying by a negative on both sides, you must change the direction the inequality sign is pointing. Okay? This is the only thing that trips people up. It only happens if you divide both sides by a negative or if you multiply both sides by a negative. If that ever happens, you got to flip the sign, flip the direction that the inequality is pointing. Okay? So, you got the background. So let's start to do the work. So let's go ahead with some examples. So the first example says 3x is less than 15. Here's the inequality. So we'll do one that's an inequality, and here's the equation. And we'll look at these and how they're the same. So this one will say 3x equals 15. Solve this equation right now. You already know how, so do it before I do it. Hopefully you just did it. You said, oh, okay, divide by 3. I need to isolate x, so I need a 1 in front of that x. Divide by 3, those leave me with x. Divide by 3, that leaves me with 5. So this equation solves to x equals 5. See how this equation connects to this inequality. So this one, I said 1. Treat it just like an equation. Okay, I need to isolate x. So I divide by 3, divide by 3. X, we have a 5. I use my inequality sign. X is less than 5. Done. That's it. It's not very hard, right? I know. So let's look at another one, keeping with this inequality and equation motif. The next one says 9x is greater than 9x equals 18. 9x is greater than or equal to 18. Solve this one, please. Hopefully you just did it and you're like, fast, this is the easiest thing in the history of the planet. Come on, son, step your game up. I need my brain to grow. I need something hard. So, boom, x equals 2, right? 18 divided by 9 is 2. Look at this. Boom. X is greater than or equal to 2. Can't get easier than this, can it? I knew. So let's look at another one. Now let's step our game up. It says -6 over, and these are the ones you guys struggle with a little bit. -6 over 15x is less than 2. -6 over 15x equals 2. So first let's do this equation style. Hopefully at this point, you're not looking at this with any issues. You're like, this is easy as pie. Why do they say easy as pie? I don't know. So I'm going to divide, right? This means -6/15 times x. So to get rid of that, I'm going to divide by -6/15. So -6/15 divided by -6/15, and I'm going to divide by -6/15, right? Or let's do it how you all typically write it. Divide by -6/15, right? So I'm left with x equals whatever 2 over 1 divided by -6/15 is. But you all are smart and you realize that's not how I divide fractions. I need to do some work. So I need to write this, I need to multiply, and I need to flip the second fraction. Still a negative, I just flipped it. So I end up with 30, a -30 over 6. So x equals -30 over 6. And simplifying that, -30 divided by 6 is -5. X equals -5. Okay? This is equations. Now let's look at this one. We're going to do it the same way. I'm going to say, okay, I need to isolate -6/15. So this is being multiplied with x, so I divide by -6/15. Divide by -6/15. 2 over 1 divided by -6/15 is the same as 2 over 1 times -15 over 6, which gives me -30 over 6, and 30 divided by 6 is -5, right? So I get an x left on this side, I get a -5 left on this side. But here's the thing, This is the key. This is the key. What? Sorry. Notice, I divided both sides of this inequality by a negative number. What does that mean I need to do? I need to change the direction of this sign. Because I divided this side and this side by a negative number, I had to flip the direction of the sign. Hopefully, you get that. That's just a rule that you have to remember. Okay? So now, we're not going to do equations with inequalities anymore. We're just going to do inequalities. Hopefully, you've seen the connection. All right? So, this next example says negative 5/4 x greater than negative 5. You solve that on your own right now. Hopefully, you just did that. You say, okay, I'm going to isolate this by dividing by negative 5 over 4. Divide by negative 5 over 4. Now, as soon as I see divide by a negative, divide by a negative, I'm going to flip that sign to remind myself because I divided both sides by a negative. And I'm going to say, okay, well, to actually divide this, I need to do negative 5 over 1 times negative 4 over 5. Negative 5 times negative 4 is positive 20. 1 times 5 is 5. 20 divided by 5 is 4. My answer here is x is less than 4. Hopefully, you got that before me. Pay attention to the signs and the way that they are pointing, okay? Next one. Says, 16x is less than negative 12. You solve this. Okay? Hopefully you just did. And you're saying, okay, I need to get rid of this, divide by 16, divide by 16. X is less than. Notice, I divided by a positive on both sides, so I did not flip my sign. And I get negative 12 over 16, right? Which can be simplified. X is less than, divide by 4, divide by 4, negative 3/4. Okay? Last two. Let me check my time real quick. Whew. Last one, because I'm running out of time. Last one says negative, says 8 over 19, x is greater than or equal to negative 1. Solve that. This is the last one you're going to solve. I'm not going to do it. You're going to do it on your own. All right? Was going to kick a little rhyme for you guys, but I think I'm out of time. So, that's the show for today, Mr. Bass. But the next time, I promise you, on my next video, I'm going to rhyme about love, y'all. It's going to be for the lovers in the house. I know how it is in high school to go through some things. Hey, girl, I love you. Hey, dude, I love you. And it don't work out. I got a rhyme for you. Out.